Welcome back to the bizarro world where saying whatever you want is automatically true if you're a liberal. Representative Ilhan Omar denies reality with idiotic response to Trump. Now, I personally expect to hear that someone is racist or sexist or Islamophobic because they wrote this article. The border is overflowing these days with migrants, and even CNN is finally covering it. Over and over, we hear from officials at the border that the crisis at the border, good Lord, I know I like you guys at Right Scoop, but good lord, you don't need to say at the border in one sentence. You make me look like I'm an English teacher. Over and over we hear from officials that the crisis at the border is perhaps the worst it's ever been, but they are at a breaking point. Obama's former DHS, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, also agrees that the Border Patrol are completely overwhelmed. Yet anti Semitic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar still accuses Trump of lying about the emergency at the border. This morning, Trump implored Congress once again to do something about the emergency border situation. Congress must get together and immediately eliminate the loopholes at the border. If no action, border or large sections of border will close. This is a national emergency. But Ilhan Omar clapped right back. This is a fake emergency. Donald Trump is lying about the border in order to build his monument to racism. How she can spout such idiocy in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. This is how some of these leftist nuts hate Trump. They will call him a liar even when all evidence agrees with him. Just like the phony collusion crap, same song and dance to a different tune. Rep. Omar has been very open in her anti-Semitism, very open in her hatred of this country, and very open about her desire to act on those things to fundamentally change us into the crap hole she escaped by marrying her own brother to get here. No word from anyone on the left, although I would have pointed it out here too, Right Scoop, that Ilhan Omar is under FEC investigation for using campaign finance funds to divorce her brother. I would be putting that in bold, underlined italics. Divorce her brother. Good Lord. I love my sister dearly. If we were the last two humans on the planet, the species would die. Plain and simple. But she married hers. And now, with Obama's former Department of Homeland Security chief saying this is a crisis, it is an emergency, with CNN admitting it, with the Border Patrol and ICE begging every day for help. The state of Texas has declared a state of emergency. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for that. Mobilized our National Guard. Yet Ilhan Omar pretends that this never happened and continues in her racism and her bigotry in a push to weaken this country. It is unfathomable to me that anyone still believes her or supports her. And if rumors are to be believed, the DNC, nationally and in Minnesota, are working to oust her from her seat. Of course, she is going to, if ever pressed to talk about that, claim, well, it's because of racism and Islamophobia and sexism. It's not because she is quite possibly in the pantheon of worst choice ever for a House of Representatives member. She, Representative Tlaib, and Representative Ocasio-Cortez are going to go down in history as the most unqualified and ignorant members of the U.S. House ever elected. And trust me, there have been a lot of those. But they're going to take the top of that list. Because Tlaib seems to think she's only there to be on TV screaming, impeach the mother effer. Omar seems to think she's only there to call President Trump a liar when even the liberal media beholden to her party is admitting that the crisis at the border is a crisis. Ocasio-Cortez thinks that she's there to try to change how the House acts by tweeting, "You mad, bro?" when people call her out for her moronic idiocy, or for the purpose of introducing WhatsApp DMs to the common conversation in Congress, or to just overall be an idiot. Well, Representative Omar, there is a crisis at the border. You live in Minnesota and you work in Washington, D.C., and you would likely never deign to set your foot in the dirty state of Texas and travel to the border where you could see that we are being overrun with illegal aliens. These are not women and children fleeing oppression, these are mostly men. You ignore stories where ICE reports they found a little girl in the desert, all but dead, who had been raped multiple times on the journey. Pardon me. All of them ignore all of this because the truth destroys their goal of opening this country to the world. We have Julian Castro, who says he will decriminalize crossing the border illegally, openly admits he will open our borders to the world, while Kamala Harris says it is a basic human right to have free education, free health care, free money from the government, free food stamps. And so she will give all of those benefits paid for by our tax dollars to these illegal immigrants. This will destroy our country. I still hold firm in the belief that should all of that come to pass, Texas will call all of our boys and girls in the National Guard home, and we will defend ourselves when the U.S. tries to tell us we can't leave. And my money will be on the state of Texas to win that, and that is simply because the men and women of the U.S. military, when ordered to violate their oath of enlistment, that is the oath to defend and support the Constitution, when they're told to violate that, they won't. Texas will become a republic again. We will enforce our border laws, and the U.S. will crumble. And Representative Ilhan Omar will do a happy dance in Congress the day this country is kaput. I honestly hope the people of Minnesota, and whatever state Tlaib came out of, and New York, and every other blue hellhole there is, wake up and realize that their elected officials are working against them. Because if they don't, we are honestly on a rocket-powered handcart to hell, and they're strapping more rockets on every day. But I've talked long enough on this one. Let me know what you think. Keep it classy and keep it civil. Again, we don't learn from arguments. We learn from debate. Make sure to like this video and please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Like I said, I've got some rabbit holes I'm planning to jump down, some other projects I want to do, and you'll want that notification bell on so that you get notified whenever any of those happen. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.